I've been hearing about what's going on in Florida with the 12-year-old and the 14-year-old who were shooting at cops trying to kill them. It's very sad. It breaks my heart. I have a huge heart for kids. I've always been very dedicated trying to help kids. And it's just a sad, sad thing to see this sort of a thing happen. But as someone who is a foster parent and I've had some very difficult kids, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys my perspective on the situation and on why a kid might do this, and just help you guys have some understanding and perhaps a little bit of compassion. So obviously I've never had a kid that is this bad as to try and shoot and kill someone, although I have had kids who have made threats to hurt others, threats to hurt themselves, lots of suicide issues. But I had, as one of my first foster kids, a 8-year-old who was an arsonist. He ultimately tried burning my apartment down before I bought a house. And it was an apartment that was attached to 3 other residences, so if my place burnt down, it would put 3 other families in some serious risk. But the whole arson issue was known before he came to me. He had previously tried to light his grandmother's place on fire, tried to light his school on fire, and there's a period, because when they put him with me, it's supposed to be temporary. So they moved him, even though he didn't want to move. I didn't really want him to move at all. They moved him to another foster home. And in this other home, he tried lighting their place on fire. Sort of an emergency move. They put him back with me. He was not in the same place at all. And I ultimately couldn't handle him. And he ended up threatening to burn my place down. He ultimately managed to make an attempt at it. So I think he stole a lighter to do the job. It's the only place I can figure where he got it. It's where the police think he might have gotten it, because I had previously been with my parents and we had been in several stores, and I don't think my parents had quite as good an eye for that sort of thing as I had, and so they didn't catch it. I've caught him selling stuff before, candy, but unfortunately I wasn't watching when he decided to steal a lighter. So he used that lighter, lit some paper, stuck it underneath the mattress, trying to catch the whole entire place on fire. Fortunately, that mattress was not a normal spring mattress. It was a memory foam one, which just melts when you put it to fire. So it didn't catch the whole entire place on fire. But it could have if it were a different mattress. But anyway, this kid has gone from place to place to place, and always the solution is try another place. That's the solution. I'm trying to light a place on fire, which seems to be the same issue from what I can gather in Florida, which is kids too tough to handle. You try to put him in another place. Maybe that'll fix it. But the reality is, it just makes things worse. And this is where I get into talking to you guys about how it is that kids get to be this way. So, there's no perfect answer. Obviously, there never will be. It's always a sad thing when a kid decides to do this. And it's really not something you can understand as to why it is that a kid would want to shoot bullets at police officers and attempt to kill them, purposely, deliberately try to kill them. But I have noticed a pattern, and I'll tell you guys that pattern, which is for the kids that are in the worst possible shape. What ultimately seems to be a trend between all of them is they've lost so much that they don't feel that they have anything else left to lose. They've moved from house to house, which once again, this is what they try and do as a solution to these problematic kids. The solution is to move them, right? So these kids have lost a lot. Every home they ever go into, they expect it will fail and they'll move again. So at the end of the day, they feel like they've lost everything. So what's it matter? They feel like it just doesn't matter anymore. They stop caring. And this is really where things go downhill for them. For a lot of kids, just for people in general, we can get bad ideas into our heads. You know, the comment with these kids was that there was a connection between Grand Theft Auto and what they chose to do to the police. The game put the idea in their head. But most kids wouldn't act on it. Why don't they act on it? They have too much to lose. So it would never cross their minds at all. It'd never stick. The idea might come and go. It's just a dumb idea. They have too much to lose. But if you feel like you've lost everything, those ideas, they're no longer transient. They stick. Because there's nothing there internally telling you, no, I have too much to lose. I think that's where things get really sad and just horrible when it comes to these situations. Because you've got kids that have spent years in the foster system. They can't trust their parents. They can't trust adults. They've lost their friends over and over and over again. Close relationships, they end. I mean, as a foster parent, I've had a number of kids into my home. Very, very, very few of them have I ever had contact with after they left the home. Sometimes it happens, yes, but it's all voluntary, right? I mean, ultimately, someone who has a family link to the child has to have that willingness to keep you in the loop and connect you. Otherwise, you know, if the parent doesn't want you connected, then it's done. If the kid doesn't want to connect with you afterward, then it's done. There's no further connection. So it just perpetuates the idea that they've lost everything. Everything is just going in the trash can. Their life's going in the trash. So it doesn't matter what they do. So this is a very, very sad thing. And so I just want to go ahead and give you guys my perspective on it. I know it doesn't do justice to the situation. I know it doesn't do justice to the fact that a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old chose to use assault rifles to attempt to kill police officers. But hopefully by understanding things a little bit better and maybe at least having a little idea as to what kind of factors affect these children into making them think that they should act in these horrible, awful ways, maybe it'll help you have a little bit of compassion for them. And just recognize that the main thing that's needed here, these kids just need to feel loved. At the end of the day, if they feel loved, they feel valued. If they feel valued, then they feel like they have something to lose by doing these terrible things. And it's a very, very sad thing that these kids feel so undervalued that they no longer think it matters what they choose to do with their life. Thanks for watching.